out in the next 60 minutes.
We're looking for our fourth participant in the Tournament of Champions at the end of the season. Let's meet our bowlers this afternoon. Last week's winner, our number 4 seed from Hull, Massachusetts, Brian Feist.
Coming in with an average of 120, bowled way over that last week, averaging almost 140. High single 173, 439 high triple, and Brian does his bowling at Country Club Lanes in Hingham, Mass.
And he will be taking on a veteran of many appearances on television over the past several years. A guy who's come close and is looking for that brass ring, Gary Santora from Auburn, Massachusetts.
Right, we saw Gary just about 5 or 6 weeks ago when he lost to Joe Tavernese. So he's back for another ladder attempt to get into the Tournament of Champions. Gary's average 128, high single of 193, high triple 466. Gary has a couple of bowling centers where he splits his league bowling, Colonial Lanes in Worcester and Thunderbird Lanes in Auburn, Massachusetts.
We have a big triple strike jackpot we're going to try to give away. We'll tell you about the bonus ball contest at the end of the match. A lot of ground to cover. Let's get right to it as we're ready for our match this afternoon from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. It's Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. We'll be right back.
Open Bowling is being brought to you by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan and Rockingham Honda.
About a year ago, Marge felt a lump in her throat every time she exercised. Her doctor ordered a series of tests. The results showed a 90% blockage to her heart's arteries. Dr. Sisto and his team performed bypass surgery the very next day and helped her make some important lifestyle changes. Today, Marge says her energy level is 1,000,000 times better. What a great story. The Heart and Lung Center at Portsmouth Regional Hospital. Total cardiac care, close to home.
Martell's Gold and Silver Company of Manchester offers a wide variety of new gold, diamond, and silver jewelry with hundreds of new 14-karat gold and silver charms, pendants, necklaces, bracelets, and pins to choose from. Martell's offers quick and affordable on-site jewelry repair, diamond resetting, mother's rings, and custom design. You can also bring in your unwanted gold and diamond jewelry for trade-in or cash. Martell's Gold and Silver Company, Manchester.
If you want your car to pass this daily test, come to a place with a track record of great service, low prices, and nationwide warranties. Come to Meineke.
At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
You'll always get a lot at Meineke. They'll keep you on the right track with quality brake service, shocks and struts, and of course, mufflers. All for that great Meineke price.
At Meineke, you won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot.
Looks like one vacation is just more fun. We guarantee it. Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
We're just about ready for the second match of our fourth ladder series. As you look at the 5 bowlers, we began this series last week. Joe Stella being defeated by Brian Feist. Now Gary Santora taking on Feist with Kevin Woodside and Bruno DeFeo waiting in the wings. It'll be Brian Feist starting us off here this afternoon at Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. And here's Brian's first ball as he's right in the pocket. Got off to a big He's a production worker at WearGuard, where they do custom embroidery. He is also the night manager at Country Club Lane. So you can see he's an ambitious young man holding down a couple of jobs. And one of the reasons is he's engaged to be married. And his fiancée Tiffany is seated in the front row. And he starts out with a 10 and a 9. And now you'll see Gary Santora for the first time this afternoon. Gary, a veteran of the television lights. This will be his 8th appearance on Channel 50. He was on Channel 5 one time in the old show.
A little bit off balance on his opening shot. Doesn't do too badly, though. Makeable split. 6-8 and a 10.
Gary's 44 years old, works as a system administrator for Stratus Computers in Maynard. And he starts out with a spare.
Very pleasant man. Always enjoyable to have Gary on board.
The 1996 Massachusetts State Men's Classic Doubles winner with Rob Burkeel. Rob, his partner in that tournament, is here today to root on his friend and former partner.
And you saw Gary Santora back on the day after Christmas, December 26th, as he was the top seed but lost to number 2 seed Joe Tavernese, who did go on to find himself a position in the Tournament of Champions. So Gary would like to avenge that loss today and put himself in the tournament, which comes up later this year.
Early 4-pin lead in the match for Gary Santora. Nice note here, Michael, from the lady who signs the card, simply Ida from Tewksbury. Ida's been watching bowling for many years. Watched Don Gillis when he was on Channel 5, and she used to bowl on teams where she used to work, but back problems have stopped her now. But she says, keep on bowling. Ida from Tewksbury. Ida, we plan to do just that. Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you, Ida.
writing in.
Of course, Tewksbury used to be the home of the interesting half candlepin, half duckpin bowling center, Wamisit Bowl, right there at 38 and 495 where the old drive-in used to be. I think it's a Home Depot or something in that area right now. But one of the very few split bowling centers of candlepin and duckpin, at least up in Massachusetts.
Seen the candles and the tens together, but not the candles and the ducks. Missed the spare, did Brian Feist.
Had a chance to bowl there a few times before they tore it down to make way for other buildings there, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the duck pin experience.
Another 9. Duck pins are really different. I haven't
Yeah.
bowled them in years and years and years, but
It's a real combination between 10-pin and candlepin in terms of, you're bowling 3 frames. The ball's a little bit bigger than a candlepin, yet the pins look more like 10 pins. So it's a real nice, I thought, blending. And I'm sorry that the game didn't survive up here. Although there still are a couple of duck pin centers. One in North Chelmsford, and I think Collins Bowlodrome in Billerica is still there, I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You can ferret them out, but you have to look hard.
Spare for Gary Santora in the 3rd frame. I always thought that the ducks were big down in southeastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island in particular.
And the Middle Atlantic region,
Right.
Virginia, Maryland as well. But there have just been a few bowling centers that have survived, but they're very small and very few people do it.
Santora on a spare. Puts 7 in the mark.
I really enjoy duck pins because you could actually put a little bit of a curve on the ball, which is very difficult to do with candle pins. The ball's just about another pound and a half heavier and a little bit bigger, and you can actually put a little more English on it than you can candle pin.
9 box for Gary, and the pins really scatter.
They go, well, that's why I call them ducks. They look like ducks taking off after being shot at in a marsh. Now you got me in the urge to go up to North Chelmsford and bowl a couple strings.
Brian Feist trailing Gary Santora by 8 pins early in the match. Check at 12 pins early in the match.
Not quite the same start he had last week.
He's opened 5 boxes in a row. I don't think that happened all of last week.
But pinning well. He's only left 3 pins standing in 5 frames. Just hasn't connected for a mark yet. And there's another very, very difficult spare.
Brian went 4 frames to start the 2nd string without a mark, and that was his longest drought.
Look at this. Punch, punch, punch. Took the lead pin out, still has 5.
Same pins, same lanes, same balls, same bowler. He salvages an 8. Gary Santora, a chance to make hay here in the first string as Brian Feist tries to find the range. Santora in the pocket. The 5 and the 10 survive the onslaught.
Hoping for a deflection, I would imagine, from the wood.
Played the wood. It deflected the wrong way.
Never came back off the left kickback.
Gary was telling me that one of the lanes where he bowls often, he bowls a 9. The T-Bird lanes in Auburn just changed hands with Joe Rossick Jr. purchasing the house from Ken Kuchar. And Gary's telling me Joe's implemented a lot of new programs already, rock and bowl, bumper bowl, and trying a lot of things to bring the kids into the house, and he's doing a great job and looks for great things from the T-Bird Bowling Center in Auburn as Gary Santora marks in the 6th frame. Nice to see new blood and new things had tried and new people coming out to try the game. Once they come out to try it, they usually come back for more.
Dick, have you ever seen rock and bowl, or in some places called cosmic or atomic bowling?
No, I haven't.
It's really something. If you had never heard of it and had never seen it and walked in on a Saturday night unsuspecting, you hear music blaring, lights going off, fog machines,
Brian Feist,
black lights. It's a lot
I've
of
seen
fun.
black light. I've seen black light bowling. Is that?
Well, that's just a little part of it. They've really embellished it with a lot more bells and whistles at a lot of bowling centers these days. And a lot of the purists and, shall we say, some of the old-fashioned bowlers don't care for it. But let's face it, as you pointed out, you need to bring some young blood into the game, and the kids like that stuff.
If
and
it
is
brings
fun.
the kids out, it's worthwhile. Get the balls in the kids' hands, let them feel the excitement of knocking over a few pins, and get them interested in the game. An 8 box for Brian Feist. He's at 79 through 8. He will need a mark to break 100 in the final 2 frames. Gary Santora at 68 plus a ball, working on a spare. Ouch. Puts 2 in the spare with the half Worcester. The 2 and the 8 pins, the only pins to go. 2 more go.
And he's doing that opposite a spare 6 in the 7th frame from Brian Feist.
That'll be a 6 box for Gary. So he loses some of that lead. 5-pin lead box to box for Gary Santora. 3 marks in the first string thus far for Santora. 1 for Feist as Gary leaves himself a spare opportunity here with wood on the deck.
You use the wood in the middle.
I would.
To avoid capping it and deflecting.
Well,
the wrong
Gary
way.
doesn't. Gary took
There
the
you go.
pin head on.
That's how a real man shoots it.
I'd have played the wood and made the shot.
Well, you'd have played the wood.
One way or the other. Brian Feist in the 9th frame, first string, spread eagle.
But he's not on a spare, so no damage done there. Just a darn hard split to make.
Takes the left side, 2 out of 3. Now he'll go back to the right side. Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNBS TV, a 7 box for Brian. Made possible each and every week by a terrific crew that puts it all together for you. Our director, Kenny Knight. On audio is Dave Hand. The tape machine is manned by Dave McCarthy. Computer graphics handled by Larry Taylor. Paul Hunter's on video. Jeff Garcia, Bob Dold, and Jim McLean, our camera crew at Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. And they do a great job, and we appreciate all of their efforts.
Well, if Brian sticks around this game for a number of years, there's no reason to think he won't. He'll run into a few clunkers like this one after his big explosion last week. He'll have those sub-100 games from time to time.
That's a 95 first string for Brian Feist. Contrast that with the 157 first string of 1 week ago.
He is human, folks.
Now Gary Santora tries to take advantage. Just one mark in the string for Brian Feist. And Santora is working on a spare. He will put 8 in the spare. Has the wood angled pretty well for him to make the shot. There's a wood in the back.
Yeah, that could be problematic.
Get in the way. It does not.
Little bonus money now.
$50 staring Gary Santora in the face here if he can make a 3rd mark in a row. Right on the head pin. Puts 8 in the spare and leaves a makeable shot. Now wood behind again is an unknown factor, and he makes the spare. That's $50 in bonus money for Gary Santora. And even more important to Gary is he's putting some distance between he and Brian Feist in this first string.
Of course, we know that Brian is very capable of having a very explosive game, as he had 2 games over 150 last week. So that's what he may need to do to get back into it.
Gary will put 7 in the spare. It's a 129 first string for Gary Santora. A 34-pin lead over Brian Feist as we head to the middle string of our 3-string match on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. We'll be right back.
Why wait to get cold, hard cash savings when you can save now at your New England Toyota dealer? Save up to $1,500 on Camry, or get special Washington's birthday financing now, 1 week early. Financing as low as 3.9% APR. Why wait for Washington's birthday? Beat the crowd, choose from the best selection, and get cold, hard cash savings now at your New England Toyota dealer.
When most people in business think of a courier service, they usually think of small packages. At Comet, we do that better than anybody. But sometimes in business, big things need to be delivered same day. That's where we can really help you. At Comet, we're ICC licensed and fully insured. And we keep our prices affordable for the small businessman. So remember, if your business requires fast, dependable, same-day delivery anywhere in New England, there's nothing faster than a Comet.
The Shipe family is now celebrating 100 years of serving the New England area with the finest in quality window fashions. Shipe's features an incredible array of ready-made curtains, matching bed ensembles, verticals, mini blinds, and pleated shades, and one of the area's finest selection of shower curtains and bath accessories. So we invite you to drop in, and you'll be delighted with the best little curtain shop in New England, where there is always something on sale.
Let's celebrate. Eric's Solid Oak Furniture is now open in Salisbury, Mass. Check out our low prices and huge selection of solid oak furniture, like roll-top and computer desks, dining room sets, curio cabinets, bedroom furniture. Eric's Solid Oak Furniture has a large selection of entertainment centers. We also have genuine Amish crafted furniture. Stop by Eric's Solid Oak, now open in Salisbury. Take the 110 exit off of 495 or 95 to Eric's Solid Oak Furniture.
Gary Santora will lead us off here in the second string with a 34-pin lead over Brian Feist. Headed to the middle string of our 3-string match on Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV. Dick Lutz with Mike Moore, and happy to have you with us. And we really do appreciate your support of this program week after week. It gets extremely high ratings, and it's all because of your loyalty and support of Candlepin Bowling and Candlepin Stars and Strikes, as Gary just missed the spare. Gary picked up $50 in bonus money in the first string, and he settles for a $9 to start out.
Runner-up today takes home $175. Our winner goes on to take our second seed, Kevin Woodside, next week. And our winner also gets a $50 gift certificate from our friends at Haverhill Beef Company on Merrimack Street in Haverhill. Joe Terrazzano and his family do a terrific job. Gives you that feeling of the old-fashioned butcher shop, though, with today's cleanliness and high technology. In fact, you and your wife were there not too long ago, huh?
And really enjoyed it. Enjoyed the.
How was the prime rib?
It was spectacular. Gary Santora's spare is spectacular.
Now, did he hand cut the piece for you, or was it already?
No, this one was already cut, and it was just beyond description. It was that good.
Melted in your mouth.
Yeah, it was really terrific. Can't wait to get back, and we will get back soon.
Deli platters, any kind of meat, meal assistance, they've got it for you. Creative people and good family folks put together a nice product for you. Haverhill Beef Company providing us with a $50 gift certificate each week to a winning bowler.
Feist looks for the shot, didn't make it. Trying to pick up the 1 and the 10.
We haven't done any feast or famine comments.
Believe me, I have had it ready to go, but haven't used it yet. 10 box first string. I was also going to say something last week where it was a stellar performance for Brian Feist as he defeated Joe Stella. There's a strike.
And the famine is over, folks. Second mark of the day now for Brian Feist of Hull, Massachusetts.
Gary Santora will work to fill a mark in the third frame. Little thin hit, but he took them all but the 7 and the 10.
Some pretty good action today. Sometimes the pins slide and don't fall. Today they're mixing pretty well.
Let's see how he plays it. Right down the middle with the wood. Will it go? It will not. The ball came back and rolled in front of the 7-pin and did not touch it.
And it would have been a legal shot, but it didn't go.
10 box for Gary Santora. Gary likes hockey, golf, and water skiing. This is among his hobbies. He and his wife, Michelle, have been married for 19 years. Missed the spare. The look of frustration on his face as he turned back to the ball rack.
Number 25 rated in the WCBC last year, meaning he was the 25th highest bowler out of the, oh, I guess 60 or 70 that participate regularly on the tournament circuit.
He's at 47 through 4. Brian Feist is working on a strike. $925 in the triple strike jackpot.
How did that stay up?
Everything went by it.
Oh,
everything went by it. The wood comes across the lane and misses the 10-pin.
He's got to be careful not to.
Doesn't want to touch that wood going by. Cost him a spare in last week's match.
Yeah,
and he missed it to the left this time.
I was thinking about it.
And that'll be a 9 box.
Now, if he would happen to hit the 10-pin and the deadwood in the channel at the exact same time, almost in a triangular fashion, that would be okay. But to hit the deadwood first and then to hit the live pin would not have been legal.
And it's up to the bowler himself to make the call.
That's very true. These gentlemen are all professionals, all considerate competitors, and we just don't see any arguments pop up for the most part.
Played the wood and didn't get the bounce. It'll be a 10 box. As we go to the break, a 33-pin lead for Gary Santora over Brian Feist as we near the halfway point of the match. We're coming right back to Candlepin Stars and Stripes from Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire, right after this.
Today I took diving lessons from the experts and found a buffet filled with all my favorite foods. Chocolate. I caught a Broadway show, 200 miles at sea. Today, I danced on water.
As far from the everyday as a ship can take you. That's the Norwegian way. Norwegian Cruise Line.
Martell's Gold and Silver Company of Manchester offers a wide variety of new gold, diamond, and silver jewelry with hundreds of new 14-karat gold and silver charms, pendants, necklaces, bracelets, and pins to choose from. Martell's offers quick and affordable on-site jewelry repair, diamond resetting, mother's rings, and custom design. You can also bring in your unwanted gold and diamond jewelry for trade-in or cash. Martell's Gold and Silver Company, Manchester.
Now is the time to buy. At Don Main Auto, we specialize in one-owner vehicles with low miles. For example, check out these fine cars and trucks like this 1998 Saab 900 Turbo SE and 1998 Chrysler Sebring, or our 1997 Ford Expedition XLT and 1996 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. We also have a 1998 Chevy K15 Silverado 4x4 and a 1994 Chevy Silverado X-Cab. At Don Main, we have a full-service department, rentals, and state inspections. Stop by or call Don Main Auto in Hampstead, New Hampshire today.
Law offices of Silva and Fortin. We will protect your rights. We will work with you to get what the law says you deserve. If you are the victim of medical malpractice, call the law offices of Silva and Fortin. If you have been hurt on the job or in a car accident, call attorneys Silva and Fortin. We care. We can help. We know how insurance companies work. We know how to get what you want. We don't get paid until you do. Protect your rights. Call the law offices of Silva and Fortin today.
Gary Santora has a 33-pin lead in the match over Brian Feist, nearing the halfway point of this second match of the fourth ladder series. You hear us talk about ladder series, and what we mean is that we start out with 5 bowlers each series, and we go week by week, eliminating 1 bowler each week. And as the winner advances, he climbs the ladder to the top. And waiting at the top every series is the top-seeded bowler, who only has to win 1 match to advance to the Tournament of Champions.
That happened every time last year. All 6 of our individual ladder winners all were top seeds. Not the case this year, however.
It is conceivable that a 5th seed would win, of course. He'd have to win 4 matches.
As Mike Poulin did with the 4-12 triple in his final match. And he is our top seed in the Tournament of Champions, which will feature 6 bowlers in a 5-week series versus the usual 4.
Gary Santora almost made a great shot. Did about everything correct except take the 6-pin out. And the 6-pin still stands. So that'll be a 9 box for Gary Santora. So marks are tough to come by in the second string for both bowlers. Each has 1. Brian Feist a chance to get back in the match. On the head pin, leaving the 3, the 5, and the 6.
I think we should mention that we'll be taping again this coming Tuesday for the next 4-week ladder series. Tuesday, February 8th. The first run of the show is, of course, Sunday the 6th. So if you watch it on the Saturday replay, you missed it. But Tuesday, the 8th of February, about 10 o'clock is when we get underway. Your chance to watch exciting bowling, and you'll know what happens before everybody else sees it on TV.
10 box for Brian Feist. We'd love to have you. We begin taping around 10 o'clock in the morning. The fans start arriving around 8 o'clock in the morning. Some even earlier than that, I guess. The best seats has, will it go? Will it go?
And you're usually about the last one to walk in.
The 9-pin.
Dick's here, we could start. No, actually, Joe Stella, when he's bowling, he comes after
next
you.
to last.
Yeah.
There's a spare for Brian Feist.
I'm going to start telling Joe Stella that we start taping at 8 o'clock. Just kidding, Joe.
Actually, the crew did a great job today. They were here early and set up and ready to go. There's Gary Santora wiping them all out except the 7-pin. The 7-pin stands with some wood to the right. Will he play the wood? Will he go right at the 7? He'll probably go right at it. As I said, he'll use the wood. Fortunately for Gary, the wood was there. I don't believe he was trying to hit that wood. He just grazed it, and it deflected the ball into the 7-pin. Now working on a spare.
Gave him a little bit larger area to work with is what it did. Nice.
Follows up the spare with a solid pocket shot and a strike. Watch it one more time. Not much doubt about this one. Right in the 1-3 pocket. The 4-pin was the last to kick out. 2 marks in a row for Santora. Now Brian Feist working on a spare. Wood past the head pin. Look at the action
Nice
he gets.
break, huh?
7 pins in the spare and a good spare leave.
The wood will continue to roll and hopefully freeze against the 6-pin. Make the spare a little easier.
He'll take it 2 in a row.
Now these guys are getting charged up. Only the 4th mark today for Brian Feist, who had, I think, 4 marks in his first 5 frames last week.
Now looking for bonus money. On the head pin. Couldn't get a break. Well, do you play the wood on the left here, Michael, and try to angle something over?
Yeah, probably.
He's not doing that.
Well, see if he'd have listened to you, Dick.
No bonus money for Brian, but good pinning. He's at 101. Gary Santora working on 2 marks in a row, the last a strike. And a tough lead for him there.
No choice but to play the wood this time.
Yep. Play the left side of that wood and keep your fingers crossed. Missed the wood,
What he tried to
right
do.
through the opening, which is very difficult to do when you look at how big that opening is. That'll be a 7 box for Gary Santora. He's at 109 with a box to go. On the head pin, a little too full.
Not by much, though.
And leaving a tough shot with some wood, leaving the 5, the 6, and the 7.
The difference between that and his 8th frame first ball, where he had a strike, couldn't have been more than an inch.
Yep, played the wood that time and didn't get the action he was looking for. That'll be a 9 box and a 118. Second string for Gary Santora, 2-string total of 247. Brian Feist needs a mark or 2 to get back into this match. A little light in the pocket that time for Brian, but a makeable shot here with the wood.
Hit the lead pin flush, should do it.
Missed it. Missed the pin.
Didn't get anything. 2, 5, 7, and 8 still standing.
9 box. He's at 110.
Need a mark to get anything back.
Yep.
From Gary Santora's lead after the first game, which was 34 pins.
Threw it past the head pin, leaves himself a half Worcester.
Holding it a little too long. Misdirecting it over to the left side. Tough spare.
All the way across the lane. That time, that one got away from him. And he finishes with a 6 box and a 116, and he loses 2 more pins to Gary Santora. Santora will take a 36-pin lead into the final string of our match this afternoon as we come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire with the 3rd string of a match between Gary Santora and Brian Feist on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Don't go away.
The Scheib family is now celebrating 100 years of serving the New England area with the finest in quality window fashions. Scheib's features an incredible array of ready-made curtains, matching bed ensembles, verticals, mini blinds, and pleated shades, and one of the area's finest selection of shower curtains and bath accessories. So we invite you to drop in, and you'll be delighted with the best little curtain shop in New England, where there is always something on sale.
44. Or 44. Or time to take more cough medicine. 44. Or your choice. Vicks 44 feels more soothing than Robitussin DM. 44. Or Vicks 44 lasts up to 8 hours. Robitussin DM you should take every 4. Time to choose. Or Soothe 44. Get up to 4 hours more with Vicks 44.
Let's celebrate. Eric's Solid Oak Furniture is now open in Salisbury, Mass. Check out our low prices and huge selection of solid oak furniture, like roll-topping computer desks, dining room sets, curio cabinets, bedroom furniture. Eric's Solid Oak Furniture has a large selection of entertainment centers. We also have genuine Amish crafted furniture. Stop by Eric's Solid Oak, now open in Salisbury. Take the 110 exit off of 495 or 95 to Eric's Solid Oak Furniture.
After every match, we have our bonus ball contest. It's an opportunity for you to become involved with Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Send your postcard with your name, address. Pick a number from 0 through 10. It could be 0, conceivably. You can send it to Leda Lanes, 340 Amherst Street, Nashua, New Hampshire, 03063. After every match, Mike Moran will reach into the bin of postcards, pull one out. We'll try to match them up with a winner from home. See if we can give away some cash in the bonus ball contest on Candlepin Stars and Strikes as we begin our third string. At Leda Lanes, it's Brian Feist trailing Gary Santora by 36 pins, and Brian Feist will be first to bowl. Right on the head pin and right through the head pin.
And it's not getting any easier for last week's winner, Brian Feist, who had a 415 triple. This week, you really have to do something here, about a 160, 170 game. Better than that, I need 200 games to hit 400 almost.
And that will be an $8. Got a note here, Mike, from Ken Roberts from the Weymouth area, who sends a long note, and essentially he says that he heard us mention that we thought plastic pins came into vogue in the 60s, one of our earlier broadcasts, and Mr. Roberts says he began bowling in the old Weymouth landing alleys on Washington Street. Same year he began setting pins and continued to set pins through 1949 around mid-November, just before he was married, and plastic pins were introduced during those 3 years. He's not positive of the exact year, but he does know that the cumbersome and heavy pins hurt when a pin boy like he were hit by one that flew into the air. I'll bet they did hurt. And the first ones were solid plastic and hard to handle. The ones that followed had a wood core, and every once in a while the outer plastic shell would crack and split, and then you had to watch for flying chips also. So another experience.
Doesn't sound like fun to me.
He also set pins in the Colonial Bowl in South Weymouth in the early 50s. Plastic pins were fairly well established by then, and he set pins, hasn't set pins since the 54-55 year. Gary Santora starts out with a spare. Gary puts just 3 in the spare.
Kind of glad that the automatic pin setters came in when they did, because I was just a big enough nut about bowling when I was a kid. I probably would have taken a job as a pin setter.
Ken Roberts says, have fun researching this info. We just did. You provided it to us. It should be interesting, as there'll be others out there who used to set pins. We've heard from many. Gary takes an 8-box. Ken Roberts, now 72 years old. He still loves the game and bowls every week in a league at the Timberlanes in North Abington, Massachusetts. Mr. Roberts, thank you very much for the note. We appreciate hearing from you.
It's funny you'd mention that. I got an email at WZIB. Oh, look at this.
Brian Feist buries one in the third frame. Watch it one more time. 1-3 pocket. There they go.
5-7-10 last to go. Looking for a double, not going to happen.
Well, you have to hold your tongue.
Yeah, that's true. I got an email from Chris out of Concord, who sent me a little note, and at the end of her letter, oh yeah, neither Jim or I ever said we're pin setters. We get lots of mail from people that set pins, and obviously a reference to that. But this letter here is indicating that she has a friend. I'll finish it up here in a second. I tend to my scoring duties. Who would like to ask his girlfriend to marry him.
On our show?
Wants to do it on our show. I thought he might be here today. He was supposed to be carrying a sign that he would be holding up asking her to marry him.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't seen it, no. Apparently he works at the liquor warehouse right behind the bowling center here, so perhaps a beverage or two to get his nerve up. I don't know.
Maybe this afternoon taping.
Possibly.
That would be interesting.
Chris, thank you very much for your letter and your email.
$10 for Gary Santora. Brian Feist needs to make a run. Needs to put some marks back to back to back. Good pocket shot by Santora.
He's been real tight in the pocket on lane 33 most of his shots. Had a strike last game and a couple near strikes, including this one right here. He's zeroed in on that.
That will be
lane.
a spare for Gary Santora as we go to the break. Santora with a comfortable lead. 6 frames to go. We come back to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire with Candlepin Stars and Strikes right after this.
Why wait to get cold, hard cash savings when you can save now at your Toyota dealer? Get savings up to $21.50 on Tacoma 4x4 now, 1 week early. Or lease for just $209 a month for 36 months with $19.59 due at signing. Or get a Washington's birthday deal now on a full-size Tundra. Don't wait. Beat the crowd. Choose from the best selection and get cold, hard cash savings now at your New England Toyota dealer.
Has back pain got you bent over? Do painful headaches drive you crazy? Does traveling have you twisted in knots? Then you need Fuzuoku 9000, the pocket-sized personal massager. Look, with just a touch, you can see thousands of pulsating waves. When placed on your sore muscles, you'll enjoy comforting vibrations throughout your body. Fuzuoku 9000 is smaller than a business card, yet powerful enough to send 9,000 penetrating waves per minute. That's almost twice as much as these big, bulky massagers. Now, with a touch, relieve tension headaches, eye strain, neck, and back pain. Fuzuoku weighs less than a spoon. It adjusts to fit any size finger, large or small, and travels anywhere in your pocket, purse, or glove box. It's perfect for a stimulating facial massage or relaxing with a friend. Look, a massage feels good. Now add Fuzuoku and it's 9,000 times better.
With Fuzuoku, I just touch where the pain is. My head, my neck, my back, and the pain is gone. I just love it.
Fuzuoku is ready anywhere, anytime you are. And for even more pleasure, Fuzuoku comes with 3 stimulation tips. Each one applies a unique feeling for increased sensations that will have you or a partner totally satisfied. It's like turning one massager into 3. And with this easy step-by-step massage guide, you'll experience the utmost pleasure from your Fuzuoku. Hey, don't spend over $200 on an expensive, clumsy massager. Order the Fuzuoku 9000 right now for only $19.95. And as a bonus, you'll receive this handy carry pouch to store your Fuzuoku in a briefcase or travel bag. Yours free. We guarantee you'll feel good all over or your money back. You get it all for only $19.95. Order now.
For fastest delivery, credit card customers call 1-800-653-5599 to order your Fuzuoku for just $19.95 and receive the carry pouch free, or send check or money order to this address. When you call, ask about the special offer on a second Fuzuoku. We also accept checks by phone, so call now 1-800-653-5599.
Brian Feist ready to bowl in the 5th frame of the 3rd string, trailing by 32 pins plus a ball to Gary Santora. Feist in the pocket that time, but not a lot to show for it. Still standing, you've got the 3, 5, 6, and 10. And he missed it.
The next stop on the WCBC Pro Tour coming up on February the 12th and 13th. As you watch this for the first time on the 6th, it'll be next weekend. And if you're watching on Saturday afternoon on the replay, it's going on even as we speak right here, Dick, at Leda Lanes. The WCBC will stop here for the two-day tournament, February 12th and 13th. Saturday shift times are 2 and 6, and on Sunday, the 13th, at 11, and then the final squad goes off at 2:45. So you don't have a chance to get down and watch the show when we tape once a month on Tuesday. Come out, watch the bowlers, and see many more of them right here at the same bowling center, Leda Lanes on Amherst Street in Nashua on the 12th and 13th.
Just by way of explanation as to what Michael said, the first showing of each Candlepin Stars and Strikes program is on a Sunday, and it's replayed the following Saturday. So if you miss it on the Sunday, you can see it the following Saturday at noon.
Exactly.
On WNDS. Check your local listings for the time. You know what they say? Gary Santora filling the spare.
Except on the West Coast, where it's 3 hours later, immediately following 60 minutes.
Gary playing the wood.
Well, look at this.
He gave it a shot, didn't he?
The experience of a professional Candlepin bowler. Knows all the angles, almost no matter what the pins are set up. They know how to do it.
Gary will take a 9 box. He's added 2 pins to his lead.
Either bowler taking charge at this point. Gary has just been cruising along with about a 25-pin lead for about the last string and a half.
Since the very end of the first string, actually.
Well, the same thing, but a little different wood setup now. So do you go for the stripe, Dick, on the felled pin and hope for deflection over to the 3-pin?
Well, he didn't play it that way. He played the wood.
I think
tried to grab them both.
I think he just missed where he had hoped to go.
That'll be a 9 box for Gary Santora. He's added 1 to his lead. He leads by 37 pins with 4 boxes to go. I want to tell you about the Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge, which is right next door to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire. If you're in the area, we'd encourage you to stop by the Kahala. They have a terrific luncheon buffet. As Brian Feist with a strike.
And he needs more just like that.
And you can feast at the Kahala. The luncheon buffet, as you watch the strike one more time, he needs to put a few marks together. The Kahala has the lunch buffet Monday through Saturday, 11:45 to 2. Brian looks for 2 in a row, threw it past the head pin, got some pretty good action, and has a spare opportunity. The dinner buffet at the Kahala, Thursday from 5 to 8, and Sundays from noon to 8 p.m. For more information, you can call the Kahala. There's another spare for Brian, and a nice one, and he really needed it. The Kahala right next door to Leda Lanes, 350 Amherst Street in Nashua. The phone number is 603-889-5200. Open every day at 11:30 a.m. Chinese and Polynesian cuisine at its best. The Kahala Chinese Restaurant and Lounge in Nashua, New Hampshire.
One of the highlights of our monthly tapings is our sojourn next door with the crew, and very often many of the folks who enjoy our broadcast.
There's Gary Santora with a clutch spare to answer. I think the cameramen have already left, haven't they? They just kind of left the camera in a stationary position and have headed to the buffet. As you watch the spare from Gary Santora. Gary in the pocket, 2 in a row.
Take that, Brian Feist.
There's the experience of a seasoned campaigner.
And that's lane 33 for Gary. He continues to pound the 1-3 pocket. A little on the high side this time, the 4-pin and the 10 with the last to go.
That just about puts the match away for Gary Santora. There's a strike for Brian Feist. 3 marks in a row, $50 in bonus money for Brian. We'll watch it one more time. Fading away from the 1-3 pocket. Still, he got the good mixing action. Missed the head pin. Needs to make this shot. Almost did. Needed it badly. Play the wood, a 9. It's a 132 for Brian Feist.
And that's it.
This match is over. He finishes with a 343. Gary Santora is already there. And some. Gary looks for some bonus money.
In a
There's
big
two
way.
marks in a row. Now we're looking at $925 in the triple strike jackpot. You hear the crowd. This is a $925 shot for Gary Santora. We'll let you watch it. Not there.
Hit the head pin on the Brooklyn side. One of the few times that he hasn't hit it on the traditional pocket side.
Still looking for bonus money. Didn't get the bonus money. And he'll finish with a $9 and a 139 for Gary Santora, and a total of 386, a 43-pin win over Brian Feist. And Gary Santora advances to climb to the next rung of the ladder. And we'll come back to meet our boulders when we return to Leda Lanes in Nashua, New Hampshire with Candlepin Stars and Strikes on WNDS TV.
Candlepin Bowling is being brought to you by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan and Rockingham Honda.
Are you tired of mops and cleaning products that just don't work? Most of us are. This is the new Star Glider. It's a 3-in-1 cleaning system that cleans, polishes, and dusts all in one. The Star Glider is...
Defeats Brian Feist. Final score 386. Terrific match this afternoon.
This is the News Now Weekend Edition.
Watch this. Scuff marks, no problem for the Star Glider. It also removes stains, dry dirt, grease, and grime using only water. Even sticky stuff like jam, chocolate syrup, and honey are no match for these Star Fibers. They do the work for you. Regular mops just spread germs around. It may look clean, but it's not. The Star Glider is proven to remove 99% of germs and bacteria without using any chemical cleaners. The secret is in the millions of Star Fibers designed to trap dust, dirt, and bacteria, leaving your surfaces ultra clean without residue. The Star Glider polishes floors, windows, and all of your glass surfaces streak-free in seconds. It doesn't only polish and clean, it's a static charged dust machine. The Star Glider grabs pet hair, pollen, dust, and mites like a magnet. The rotating head swivels into corners and glides around baseboards. The telescopic handle allows you to clean, dust, and polish in all those hard-to-reach areas. The Star Glider pad is machine washable and guaranteed for 3 years. Baseboards, floors, walls, windows, blinds, ceilings, even boats and RVs. The Star Glider is all you need. The Star Glider 3-in-1 cleaning system is yours for only $19.95. If it's not the fastest, safest, and most effective way of cleaning ever, you'll get your money back. But wait. Call now within the next 20 minutes and you'll receive a second Star Glider absolutely free. That's 2 Star Gliders for $19.95. Call now.
Order in the next 20 minutes to get 2 Star Gliders for only $19.95. That's 2 for the price of 1. Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-407-8181. That's 1-800-407-8181.
Terrific match this afternoon. Gary Santora defeats Brian Feist. Final score 386 to 343 for Brian Feist. Feast or famine last week, 415. Then welcome back to reality.
Yeah, and he didn't do badly, really, for a second time back in the 340s. Nothing to be ashamed of. I'd be thrilled to have that kind of scoring. But up against Gary Santora, a seasoned veteran of many broadcasts. Not quite enough this week, anyway. But he will be back. We're going to see him a lot, I think.
It would take you 5 or 6 strings to get the
Hey. Let's be nice.
Let's meet our runner-up this afternoon, Brian Feist. We'll bring Brian right in. Congratulate Brian. What was the difference from last week to this week? A 415 last week, a 343 this week. What was the difference?
Couldn't miss the first week. This week, oh, forget about it. No object pins, just off the head pin. not picking up the easy spares.
Do you try to make some adjustments during the course of a match? How do you adjust?
Basically, I lightened up on the head pin, threw a little lighter, but it just wasn't working. Just wasn't meant to be.
Great experience for you. Nice to have you here. We have a check for $175. We have $50 in bonus money, and we have the $50 gift certificate to Haverhill Beef for your win last week, which we forgot to mention to you last week, so we'll mention it to you this week, but that's coming to you too. Hope to see you again soon, Brian. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian.
Feist, our runner-up here this afternoon, and now it'll be Gary Santora who